Why do you play video games? It's a simple question without an easy answer. Games can open up unknown worlds to explore, filled with mysteries, characters, and experiences new to us. You can compete with others on large battlefields or work together in order to achieve goals that you've chosen. Escape the mundane of our day-to-day lives in exchange for immersive realms filled with adventure and accomplishment. And I think there is one major reason why video games have always been popular. You get to be the hero. It might sound cliche, yet having a good tangible effect in the games you play can make you feel, well, good. You had the dedication to defeat the bad guys, the intelligence to outwit your foes, and get that satisfying ending not only for your character, but for yourself. It's a profound feeling, and one that any person can connect with. That's why I think Spec Ops: The Line deserves a lot more credit than it's gotten after its release in 2012. Spec Ops: The Line throughout its story evoked a very different feeling during its campaign than almost any other video game that I've played in my lifetime. You are not the hero. Development started 5 years prior to the release date, where Jaeger, the developers, wanted to create a game encompassing the thematic elements of Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness and Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. The team aimed to showcase the psychological effects of combat on soldiers and the dynamics of power interlaced with morality. I think they did a superb job at that. Even though there were a lot of setbacks and delays, it evidently gave the team time to refine what their vision was and how to present it. Spec Ops: The Line is not a perfect game. Gunplay can feel a bit clunky, pacing can falter, and there were some occasional glitches. But perfection was never the point. What Spec Ops sets out to accomplish was something far more ambitious, to hold a mirror to an entire genre, and to the players who consume it. It's important as a moment, a rare instance where the medium stopped to ask itself what it was really doing, and why we kept pressing forward even when the sand turned red. Today we'll be going through the whole entire campaign, focusing on gameplay mechanics, auditory soundscape, visual landscape, and of course, the narrative, to understand how and why Spec Ops: The Line is a unique drop in the large ocean of modern war shooters. And there's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Spec Ops does a great job at intense set pieces and starts the player out in one. We have no context other than our team is being attacked by helicopters and you're thrust into the action. I was impressed with the visuals right off the bat. From the falling crane to the enemy helos crashing into deserted buildings, this was kind of epic. There was another interesting visual aspect to this beginning as well, the backdrop. All these abandoned skyscrapers and the state of the area we were in intrigued me and made me ask myself about how it all came to fruition. That's good design, and the game had multiple moments where I thought the art direction and level design teams showed more than explicitly told. We then cut to a black screen and see how we even got into this mess. Captain Walker, voiced by Nolan North, talks about John Konrad with reverence.
The facts don't lie. The man's a fucking hero.
Not only did Colonel Konrad save Walker from a previous engagement in Kabul, but it seems right after the Colonel's redeployment from Afghanistan, he and his battalion offered to help relief efforts in Dubai. Major sandstorms started engulfing the city, creating hazardous environments for the civilians and foreign aid workers who stayed. Of course, the wealthy and affluent already fled, leaving the most vulnerable stranded. It is important to note some of the details within the scene represented through the newspaper cutouts, how the UAE denied foreign aid at first and even protested Konrad plus his 33rd Battalion's involvement. It brings up one of the central questions of the game. When is action justified and who gets to make that choice? Walker continues, explaining that Konrad, after 6 months in Dubai, tried to leave with a caravan of survivors, but the only thing we know about them is his last radio message.
This is Colonel John Konrad, United States Army. Evacuation of Dubai ended in complete failure. Death toll, too many.
We then get our opening credits and meet our team, Captain Walker, Lieutenant Adams, and Staff Sergeant Lugo. dealing with the aforementioned sandstorms. The squad's banter is well written and acted. There is a good balance between the contextual jokes and serious reactions to what they're about to discover.
For future reference, I prefer my beaches with a 3-to-1 sexy lady dead body ratio.
Lugo, do you ever actually hear the shit coming out of your mouth?
The squad's mission is to find the source of the radio transmission, make contact with Konrad, and call in the army for evacuation of the remaining population, if there is any. How they're going to do that with just 3 people was something I questioned. Already the graphics were a bit mixed in my opinion. There's this filter when outside that made it feel too cinematic. Maybe that's just me, but overall everything holds up pretty well because of the environmental details. You're walking through the caravan's gravesite, seeing the bodies strewn along cars or the amount of luggage on the bus. It was striking. The player also gets this chilling audio of Konrad's recording on loop, and you can hear the pain in his voice.
The convoy stalled. Trapped in the storm. 18 clicks out of goodbye. Death toll. Too many.
You can also find intel around the levels that are voiced and add on to the ambiance of the world.
If you are reading this, the desertion of the 33rd is undoubtedly no longer a secret. I have failed my mission. Worse, I have failed my men. If any of them be found alive, let it be known that they are innocent.
The team then discovers fresh KIAs and a trap. Laid out by who, we don't know, but one of them is American and asks us if we were there to kill them, and another that speaks Farsi, which Lugo tries to communicate with. Things go south and we engage the targets. Even though Adams thinks they're refugees from the storm, the literal people we're here to save, Walker gives the order to keep firing, and we fight our way into the city. The gameplay is solid for a third-person shooter from 2012, but I couldn't help but feel like the cover system could have used a bit more fluidity, mainly comparing it to the Gears of War series. We also get squad commands, which were useful in most situations. Adams having a grenade mechanic to clear out entrenched enemy positions, and Lugo sniping specific targets at range. We get another radio transmission, but this time from an Alpha squad requesting assistance close by. Trying to figure out what the hell is going on, Walker and company quickly make their way over and try to save them, but we're too late. The soldier with his last breath tells us that his partner was taken to something called the Nest and dies before confirming if Konrad is still alive. While following tracks, Adams questions the mission parameters, since we probably should have just called our command to let them know there are survivors, even if they shot at us.
Fucking orders. Like it.
Orders ain't worth following if it means leaving people to die, Lugo.
Walker is now disobeying his original mission because in his mind he thinks he is going to save the Americans in Stranded, which as we'll see, goes terribly wrong. We make our way into the Nest and immediately see weapons and armaments everywhere. Whoever these people are, they've got firepower. While taking on more hostiles, someone is playing music over jerry-rigged speakers. For copyright reasons, I won't be playing the music, but it's American rock, which felt very eerie within the context of the level. Not too long after entering the Nest, a broadcast starts playing talking about an unwarranted assault on the 33rd and breaking of some ceasefire. And again, Adams wants to call in what we found so far, but Walker denies him, saying that they need to make contact with Konrad and the 33rd before doing so. Finding out whoever is broadcasting might lead us to them. There is this neat and intense set piece trying to enter the next building. Not only were the enemies popping up everywhere, but my ammo count was running low. Then you see this huge sandstorm come in and just look at these visuals. We find ourselves in a hotel that was beneath us, and I really liked the thought of not knowing what was underneath the sand. Our stay in the area was short-lived though, as the hostiles detonate C4 and we get our next cutscene.
Dropping C4? What were you thinking?
They were dug in, sir. We didn't have many options.
You're lucky this whole place didn't collapse. Where's the soldier? The one we took from the plane?
Downstairs, sir.
Is he being guarded?
At all times.
Good. Think I'll go say hi.
Agent Castellin. Wait.
What?
He won't talk, sir.
He'll talk to me.
The team is even more confused hearing that the locals are taking orders from an American and referring to him as an agent, which probably means he's CIA. We're introduced to another gameplay mechanic while chasing after the agent. When in sandstorms, orders cannot be given, which I kind of thought was weird since don't we have radio comms, but whatever. We descend further and discover where some of the refugees have been living, and there were some great visual details here. The interior designs were more polished than the outside areas, which makes sense, and if you've watched my other videos, you know I like worlds that feel tangible. The squad also discovers a gruesome scene of soldiers executed in line, which makes Walker think of his time in Afghanistan. This guy has probably seen some bad stuff. Walker and company finally catch up to the agent who is interrogating the Alpha Squad soldier, and a lot is dropped in this short cutscene. The 33rd is guarding some water depot that's probably vital to everyone in the city, and the soldier accuses the CIA agent of stirring up the locals against the battalion. Sounds very CIA.
The CIA doesn't start when it can't finish.
Well, now's the time to prove it, because I'm not telling you shit.
No! What the hell?
Ooh, I was not expecting that. I believe we had the choice to shoot the soldier or lower our weapon, and I chose to lower it since I thought it would be the better way to find his commander. But when questioned about that choice, Walker's response is, "I'm not about to shoot a US soldier." Didn't we just see that guy kill a CIA operative though? Both are American.
Article 4, Captain. You gotta speak to my commander.
Well, where's he at?
By now, I'd imagine he's just downstairs.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Why don't you wait here? I'll go get him.
Further along, the squad discovers that the CIA had been using this area as a base of operations and hiding behind the refugees that occupied it. Unfortunately, the saved soldier who we let go alerts his squad, telling them we're CIA and to open fire. Wow, this whole entire situation is foobarred, so much for not killing soldiers. Obviously, Lugo and Adams are hesitant to obey Walker's open fire, but I don't know if they really have a choice. Fighting through the market was intense, and I enjoyed the gunplay a lot in this game. The weapons weren't that hefty, recoil is non-existent, but there was a finesse with popping out of cover and pulling off headshots. The squad deliberates their next move. Even though the 33rd seemed to have gone rogue, Walker still believes if they find Konrad that there is a chance he still has control over the remaining loyal soldiers. Again, Walker holds Konrad with high regard, even though we don't know if the dude is even alive and half his battalion are hunting CIA agents and now us. I understand Walker's reasoning because, as he stated in his opening monologue, those are just the facts. But are they? Entering the next area, we see the 33rd rounding up civilians. Thinking they're going to murder them, the squad engages and we get another great verticality moment, descending the stairwells and flanking enemies, culminating in shooting out this huge glass window. Usually I would say, wow, that was so epic, but this game constantly reminds you of your actions and their ramifications. We might have taken out most of the soldiers in the area, but we also just opened up a huge barrier protecting the civilians living here from the sand, and they have every right to be furious with us.
What are they saying now?
These people want us gone.
We should get out of here. Leave these people to grieve.
Yeah, I think that's the least we can do. Come on.
Walker and company are still trying to put two and two together. We know some schism happened within the 33rd, and the CIA have clawed their way into the civilian population, using them against the rogue soldiers. But we don't have a lot of time to dwell on the circumstances because Lugo intercepts another dark radio transmission.
What is your name and designation?
Agent Daniel, CIA.
Good. Why did you and your men come to defy Lieutenant Daniels?
We're looking for survivors.
Okay. Looks like he's telling the truth. We can begin.
That's enough, Lugo. Yes, sir.
The visual presentation here is stunning. The verticality of the landscape cannot be understated, and that eerie feeling came up again. We were just walking on sand, and now we see that we're hundreds of floors above the city. It's a great way to show, not tell, how much damage the sandstorms have done. We head out to find Agent Daniels from the most recent transmission and stumble on this casual conversation between two 33rd Battalion members.
You know, sometimes at night I'll just come out here and sit.
Just listen to the wind.
Yeah, reminds me of how the wind used to howl through the trees where I grew up. Kind of peaceful, actually.
This was a great shift in the pacing. You've been shooting guys left and right for the last 2 hours, so to hear this very casual conversation that reinforces that all these people we killed were people, it was jarring to say the least. I really wish that we could have stealthed by them, but that wasn't the case. Trying to reach Agent Daniels had some engaging firefights and more gruesome audio. Whoever set up the speakers around the buildings is broadcasting the agent's torture, and at this point I think I would be mentally breaking down hearing that. Even Lugo talks about how the 33rd were supposed to be heroes, not sadistic, but Walker again dismisses this slight on them, doubling down on it's the Radioman who's turned them. At this point, I was leaning more towards Walker's ability to be blindly loyal. Walker also mentions that he thinks he recognizes the radio personality as a former reporter that worked with both he and the colonel back in Afghanistan. But just when we were having a second to breathe, we get this cutscene. Shit! Dead. Dead. Son of a bitch! Dead. Oh, definitely dead.
Shit!
Like, how the hell did he survive that? Obviously, we lost our guns during the fall and are only equipped with a pistol. The game does this occasionally, and I think it adds a good bit of tension compared to having our reliable M4 or AK. Walker holds out against the soldiers long enough to have Lugo and Adams find him, and the three continue to Agent Daniels' signal, trudging through the dense streets. It was a great contrast seeing the buildings from the ground as opposed to the start of the level. It's great scope and almost disorienting, but as we delve deeper into the city, the more atrocities are revealed.
Oh my fucking god. Jesus, so many bodies.
We didn't have many answers at this point, but the questions were mounting, and I know some people will say, oh, it's just a video game. Yet, like watching a movie or reading a good book, this evokes a lot of emotions and made me want answers even more. The squad finally reaches Agent Daniels' position, but it's another trap. Oddly enough, the Radioman says it wasn't for us, but a fox named Gould.
I mean, come on. You didn't actually think we'd just let you walk in here, did you?
Yeah, we did. We're looking for survivors.
Well, you found some. It's a bitch, ain't it?
Gould does show up and tells us to get the heck out of there, and we oblige. Fighting to get to Gould was another moment of impressive level aesthetics. I don't know if it was just because I had fought through the Field Museum and Stranglehold, but fighting anyone with dinosaur bones as the backdrop is pretty cool. The squad survives a helicopter attack and debates whether they can even trust this new CIA agent when they find them. We do get to briefly speak over the radio, and Gould explains that the CIA was sent in before our team to look for survivors, but they found the city in somewhat of a civil war. He also can't confirm where Konrad is, but there are rumors he's still alive. The squad continues to look for Gould in the center of the city. The writing is on the walls, and hanging from the lampposts. Just ahead, we find the bodies of the civilians that the CIA gave weapons to splattered along the defensive barriers. And just when you thought it couldn't get more messed up, Adam smells something apart from the corpses. This is white phosphorus, one of the many foobarred military inventions that teeters between war crime and legitimate military purpose. I haven't talked much about the sound design yet, but the body's burning is hauntingly well done. And the suppression noises make you feel like it.
Bring it, motherfucker!
Just ahead, we discover that Gould has been captured along with other civilians and is being interrogated about another operator, Riggs. Gould won't talk even when the 33rd soldier starts torturing one of the civilians by shooting his gun at close range around her. I don't know if you've ever been to a gun range without ear protection, but they're loud. Even more disturbing is that the civilians are black-bagged. Both of these things amount to psychological torture. Then we have our squad just watching this whole entire ordeal unfold and doing nothing without Walker's orders. What happened to their original mission about saving the populace? Walker finally makes the call to save Gould, but we're too late. We do find his operations plan mentioning a gate, and even though Walker says it's important, what the hell does he know? Bringing back the meta lens to the overall conversation, this trope within video games happens a lot. Find a document, make it a priority, because why else would they put it in the game? If your objective says do something, you do it, and rarely question your actions after. Walker is so focused on what he perceives as right that he never questions what he's actually doing. We also see the trauma these various events have had on the team.
This is just fucked. What are you talking about?
People died back there. Not just soldiers and civilians, but Gould. Our best chance of getting out of this hellhole.
Calm down, Lugo. There's nothing we could have done.
Don't tell me to calm down. We got no idea what the fuck we're doing here.
Yeah, you're right. Putting your faith in Gould, you are fucking clueless. Man, I'm through with this shit.
Fuck you! At least I'm doing my job! You're the one who's fine, just sitting back, waiting for things to unfuck themselves!
You think I like watching these people die, huh? You think I won't carry this shit to my fucking grave?
Stand down! Both of you! Stand the fuck down!
The squad makes it to the gate, and this place is heavily fortified. Adams does point out that the white phosphorus mortar is right next to them, and Walker gives the order to set it up, despite Lugo's objections. Seeing Walker's reflection as he's literally burning people alive was haunting, and an interesting parallel from when I could see my reflection in my own monitor. Then taking out the final Humvee adjacent to a group of non-identifiable people was horrific. Walking through the aftermath is a moment I won't forget easily. Not many games depict the atrocities of war like this one.
Why?
You brought this on yourself.
We were helping.
What? Oh no.
Remember I said white phosphorus was teetering on war crimes? Well, one of the ways that it crosses the line is use against civilian populations, which we just perpetrated. Walker realizes that the 33rd had not executed the civilians from the nest, but instead were bringing them past the gate, and he just murdered them all. Not even taking a minute to atone for his actions or seemingly think about what he's done, Walker gives the order to continue moving and make them pay for what they've done. My dude, you did this, not the 33rd. Past the gate, the squad finds, you guessed it, another gruesome finding. The charred corpses were from Konrad's command team, and just besides them a radio where we get our first true interaction with the Colonel.
Captain Walker. Yes, I remember you. Kabul, I think it was. You performed admirably under the circumstances.
Colonel,
I don't
please.
know if I told you that.
What's going on here?
Survival, Captain. Plain and simple. Everything is teetering on the edge of everything. But this you already know. The rest you'll have to see for yourself. Welcome to Dubai, gentlemen.
Walker finally realizes that Konrad is behind most of the atrocities we've seen, and the objective obey felt very ominous. The two continue their radio chatter, Konrad telling Walker it was a bold statement to claim he knew him. And even though Walker thought Konrad was an honorable man, Konrad's response sent a chill down my spine.
I've saved many lives, Captain. I've ended even more.
We then get this cutscene where the Colonel has staged a morality test. 2 men hanging, one for stealing water and the other for murdering that man's family in retribution. Konrad wants us to decide one of their fates. I tried to see if I could abstain from the choice, but unfortunately the snipers just downed Adams and then Lugo, so the game is forcing my hand. Oh wait, isn't that what Walker just said about the civilian casualties? Another win for the visuals in this game. The Burj Khalifa towering above in the distance as the sandstorm rips through was awesome, and I thought it was a neat detail that the enemies had a hard time seeing in the conditions. After surviving the storm, the team surmises that Konrad has to be hiding in some place he can see the whole city. Well, off to that Burj Khalifa. Adams does question Walker about his actions, saying he's never seen him like this before, and still, Walker reiterates that they're not leaving until the survivors can be safely evacuated, which made me chuckle a little bit. After what we're doing, I don't think there will be any survivors at all. We also get another intel piece, this time from the Radioman talking about how he found executed bodies with passports laying around them. He alludes to the city officials doing this and him trying to find the colonel to alert him to the matter. I took this as things were foobarred before the 33rd got there and no one was doing anything good. The team receives a distress message from Riggs, the other operator, saying that they've been pinned down by the 33rd and are in need of assistance. Walker, thinking this is their best bet on finding Konrad, helps out the defending agent.
Jeff Riggs, now get in here before a sniper blows your goddamn head off. You're welcome. Excuse me?
Maybe you didn't notice, but we just saved your ass.
Kid's got a mouth, Captain.
Meeting Riggs was interesting, maybe because it's the first time we had more than a minute of dialogue with another person this whole entire game, but also the fact that his plan is kind of batshit insane. Riggs and Gould had located the water source for the 33rd and were trying to destroy it before they got separated and Riggs pinned down. Now he's asking for our help.
You really think water's the key?
We're in the desert, kid. Water's the key to everything. Shit.
Frag out! Take cover! I got visual. Is it Riggs? No, it's Delta! Where's the old man?
Right here.
You son of a bitch! You're...
Come on, you're slowing me down.
God damn, that's brutal. In between the fighting, Riggs admits to arming the civilian population because they were ready to rise up. Typical CIA. But it also made me more confused since they were ready to rise up against who? The Emirates or the 33rd? We finally get to our location and it's the aquatic Colosseum, filled with around 45,000 gallons of water. With a distraction going on at the front gate, we make our way to the back entrance. While entering, Walker is still in communication with the colonel, who asks him why he's helping Riggs and makes a fair point that without water, everyone will die, including us. He also mentions that Riggs and the CIA are trying to bury the truth, which I'm assuming means all the bloodshed the schism within the 33rd had caused once they arrived in Dubai, plus what the CIA has done for who knows how long. Walker, Adams, and Lugo fight through more 33rd and make it to the water tanks that are conveniently situated on the back of trucks.
Step lively, people. We're about to bring this city to its knees. See you want to see him.
You want me to shoot him, or would you rather do it yourself?
Get out of this alive, he's all yours.
Leaving the facility, another brutal visual greets us. The civilians that had been living around the Colosseum are throwing rocks and cursing at us, again with good reason. We're stealing the last water the city has left, and Konrad is right. Without water, everyone will die. I can't even say blowing up soldiers with the grenade launcher was satisfying because I couldn't stop thinking about what we were actually doing. It goes back to that central question: when is action justified and who gets to make that choice? Plus, seeing the water leaking from the tank made me sad, just straight up sad. The way is blocked, and instead of throwing in the towel, Riggs crashes the trucks, and we get what I think is a hallucination of the colonel talking to Walker.
In 4 days, this city will begin dying of thirst. Just like Riggs wanted. This is your fault, Walker. You did this. Not me.
Getting back control, we have to walk past the devastation we've caused and then confront Riggs.
Hang on. I'll get you out of there. Forget it. There's no point. The water's gone. That's all that matters.
So, Riggs admits that the CIA's main intention was to bury the city along with the 33rd for PR. Christ. I had absolutely no sympathy for this guy, and I was glad the game gave you the choice to end his life quickly or let him reap what he sowed.
Where the hell are you going? Walker! 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 Ah!
And still, Walker keeps repeating the line of getting everyone evacuated. Not only logistically is that impossible, but how the hell does he think he'll convince people to join him since we've just torched their homes and destroyed their only water source? In all of that shit show, Lugo and Adams have been captured by the 33rd and Walker has to save them, leading to another engaging arena for the preceding battle. Throughout this fight, the Radioman is in constant contact with the squad, arguing with them that Delta Squad are the actual villains, pointing out that we did use white phosphorus on civilians and have killed hundreds of soldiers at this point. Walker does have the idea that if we get to the Radioman's tower, we could send out the evacuation order, but again, why would anyone listen to us? And the last caravan didn't do so well. After the firefight, Adams and Lugo capture one of the surrendering soldiers, and oh man, Walker seems to be losing it a little bit.
What the hell is this? Somebody doesn't want to play soldier anymore. What's your name?
Staff Sergeant Josh Forbes, service number 867530.
You are not a prisoner of war. Far as I'm concerned, you're not even a fucking soldier.
You can't.
I can do whatever the fuck I want. Now, the asshole on the radio, where's he broadcasting from?
Don't bother. He's guarded. You'll never reach him.
Our problem.
We do get the information on where the broadcasts are coming from and on to the next portion. The variety and level layouts kept me engaged even if the actual gameplay rarely changed. Also, Walker is probably losing it.
Walker! What are you doing?
Adams?
You can't do this, man! Stop! Just fucking stop! Damn it, Walker! No! Jesus. What the fuck did you do, Walker?
You caught me off guard.
The squad takes out more soldiers defending the broadcast tower, and we finally meet this ex-reporter turned crazy DJ.
Hey, guys. like that's a real gun. I mean, come on.
Clock's ticking, Lugo. Yeah, I'm on it.
This is another chilling scene because Lugo, our radio specialist, has banter with the DJ, talking about the details of the system and even admiring the DJ's technical prowess to get the whole thing running. It's how the interaction ends that made my mouth drop.
You are live and on the air, my good man. Give it a shot.
Wow, that was easier than I expected. Thanks.
Get the fuck off me, man!
Have you lost your fucking mind?
Are you really this fucking naive? He kept the 33rd on our ass this whole time. He wasn't gonna let us just walk out of here. I did what was necessary.
You don't get to make that call.
Well, fuck you. I just did.
Walker gets out both messages, one about the evac, but also the slightly more sinister the 33rd are going to pay. Unfortunately, an enemy helicopter tries to take us out, and we have to find our way off the tower. Instead of leaving the area, Walker decides that the whole tower needs to go, and with a minigun on our helicopter, he has the means to do it. Maybe I shouldn't be questioning Walker's choices, but like, wouldn't you want this place to stay operational if, I don't know, some people didn't hear your message, or even trying to contact our command? Regardless, the 33rd are not happy with our antics, and oh man, we're at the beginning.
Wait, this isn't right!
Well, it's too late now!
No, I mean, we did this already!
What do you mean?
Ah, fuck it! It's nothing! Just shake these fucking guys!
Wait, is that a meta reference to the narrative? We play through the beginning portion again, but this time with missiles that have to be shot down. Now we're really entering batshit territory.
Open your eyes, Walker. I need you to see what you've done. Dubai should have died long ago. We were ordered to abandon these people. Instead, we chose damnation. There were over 5,000 people alive in Dubai the day before you arrived. How many are alive today, I wonder? How many will be alive tomorrow? I thought my duty was to protect this city from the storm. I was wrong. I have to protect it from you.
Coming back to reality, Adams informs us that Lugo has been radio silent since the crash and we'll need to find him. Adams and Walker quickly reunite, fight through loads more enemies, and then pick up Lugo's signal in one of the refugee settlements. The two find Lugo dangling from a noose, and even though they shoot him down, Walker can't save him. This was hard to watch, and when you get the controls back, you do have the choice to shoot at the crowd. Again, I can only think of a handful number of games that give you these incredibly dark choices.
Go! While you still can.
Leading up to Konrad's tower, you can find this effigy of him and the 33rd. Walker starts to realize that a lot of people worshipped him for what he had done. The other side of this was that Konrad used brutal methods to keep people in line, so if you took one misstep, you'd be hung from the lamppost. Walker and Adams fight through more soldiers, and Walker is having even more hallucinations at this point.
Welcome to hell, Walker. We've been waiting for you.
We get pinned down, and Adams sacrifices himself so Walker can enter the building. Another neat detail as Walker enters the Burj Khalifa is this red carpet, which looks like it's laid out for him. Inside, Walker confronts what's left of the 33rd, who surrendered to us, and we make our way up to Konrad.
Well done, Walker. You've done what the storm could not. Destroyed the damn 33rd. Do you feel like a hero yet? Now that you're here, I want to ask you a question. What did you think when you arrived in Dubai? When you'd seen what I had done, did you think it the work of a madman?
Yeah. I thought you'd lost your goddamn mind. Or I hope that's what happened.
Oh yes, that would have made things easier. But I wasn't that lucky.
You sure about that?
I assure you, I'm as sane as you are, Captain.
We confront the Colonel, but something doesn't feel right, and as we look closer at the newly finished painting, we see that it depicts the bombing of the civilians at the gate.
Your eyes are opening for the first time. It hurts, doesn't it? Go on. What do you think?
Konrad says someone has to pay for our crimes, and as we move outside, my mouth dropped again.
John? Is that you?
You tell me.
I'm done playing games, John.
I assure you, this is no game. It seems that reports of my survival have been greatly exaggerated.
This isn't possible.
Oh, I assure you, it is.
How?
Not how. Why? You were never meant to come here.
We have our orders. Leave the city, radio command from outside the storm wall. They send in the cavalry, we go home.
What happened here was out of my control.
Was it? None of this would have happened if you'd just stopped. But on you marched. And for what?
We tried to save you.
You're no savior. Your talents lie elsewhere.
This isn't my fault.
It takes a strong man to deny what's right in front of him. And if the truth is undeniable, you create your own.
What the hell happened? I don't know. He just stopped moving. Walker, snap out of it.
I get it. We have to choose.
The truth, Walker, is that you're here because you wanted to feel like something you're not. A hero.
So, almost all of our actions were in Walker's head after the white phosphorus attack. An almost complete dissociation with reality. Instead of taking responsibility on himself, Walker blames Konrad for those casualties, and uses the broken radio communications throughout the game to try to justify his subconscious's decision to put it all on the Colonel. To add on to this, Walker's realization that Konrad did do terrible things trying to maintain order skewed his mentality. Konrad did save him in Afghanistan and countless others, but as Walker's own subconscious said, I've saved a lot of lives and I've killed a lot more. The radio, the morality choice, all hallucinations to justify Konrad being the perpetrator. Looking back on the interactions with Adams and Lugo now with this context, you know that they weren't questioning our actions, but our sanity. From their perspective, we shot at a corpse claiming Konrad was testing us, but they couldn't disobey Walker's orders because of the chain of command. Konrad now being the representation of Walker's psyche gives him a choice: end his life and not face the consequences of his own actions, or face the truth, killing the representation of Konrad to lift the veil of Walker's delusions.
You're not real. This is all in my head.
Are you sure? Maybe it's in mine.
1. No. Everything. All this. It was your fault. If that's what you believe, then shoot me. 2. I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
No one ever does, Walker.
3. 4.
Is this really what you want, Walker? It takes a strong man to deny what's in front of him.
Stronger than you were.
Whatever you say, Walker. No matter what happens next, don't be too hard on yourself. Even now, for all you've done, you can still go home. Lucky you.
There is an epilogue that has another decision for the player. With an evacuation transmission sent on the tower, the US Army arrives and Walker has the option to be taken in or go back to his delusions by killing the soldiers. My thought process was that maybe if Walker went with the soldiers, that the atrocities would not be covered up. He would stand trial and tell the world what happened in Dubai to at least do something quote-unquote right. But that might be far-fetched. The other ending is you killing off the soldiers and Walker using the line, "Welcome to Dubai." Then walking into the ruins is a twisted version of himself and his new representation of Konrad. But, oh man, was this frickin' crazy and something I did not expect going into the game. I had heard great things about the plot and decent things about the gameplay and other facets. Spec Ops: The Line wasn't perfect, but it will stay with me for a while. I thought it did an excellent job at showcasing the atrocities of war and combat, and questioning the celebratory way most war games get viewed. There were no heroes here. There were no right answers. I'd love to hear about your opinion on the game, what stood out to you and what you didn't enjoy. Was it as impactful for you as I found it? Also, did you play it back on release or later on? I feel like it's an important question when doing retrospectives because giving games time away from critics and ratings lets you view them with a broader lens. I rarely look at reviews before playing the games I cover, so I always find it interesting to hear from you. And I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch. This is my first video in the new house after moving. It's been a wild 2 weeks, and being a homeowner after renting an apartment for my adult life has already been challenging. We've had a leak, so many people coming in to install security, fix ovens, you name it, so I truly appreciate your patience these past few weeks and throughout the rest of November. If you did enjoy the video, check out some of my previous retrospectives, or if you like lore reviews of video games, you can find them there too. I hope all is well, and until next time, Dog Dad.
Ah, jeez. Where's all this violence coming